Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we have some nice weather in Minneapolis, and if you live in the U.S. and you follow the weather news at all, you've probably seen it's been really bad air quality here. I was actually out of town in northeast Wisconsin, and it was very bad there, but not as bad as it was here. So just got back, and our air quality is at least breathable, but for the past, it's just kind of the thing. It's either super hot and humid here, or once it gets pleasant and cools off, then it becomes just a total smoke show. And you walk outside and you see haze, you can taste the smoke. It's just gross. My voice is still, I'm clearing my throat. That's all just the result of the crap that's in the air here from the Canadian wildfires. So yeah, not a great time to spend a day out in the garage working, but at least, like I said, it's starting to move out here and I can get back out here, which is good, because today we're going to pull the front bumper off of the S8, and we gotta kind of finish working on the bumper, maybe do a little work that unfortunately our body guy didn't do, even though I requested it should be done at the time. And you'll see what that is, but anyhow, we're gonna do that, and then I'll probably turn my attention, maybe in this video, maybe in another video. I took the red S4 for a drive last night, and the car has this tendency to go into this like loop where it runs really rich, and it drives me nuts because it'll bog. That car needs rear suspension rebuild terribly bad. So that is probably going to go on the quick check here soon, but first I need to do the master cylinder on the S8, and finish the front bumper and get the condenser in so I can recharge the AC. So we're going to really focus on the S8 first, but then, like I said, we're going to turn some attention on the red car here real soon as well. So things to come. All right, so if you like D2 S8s, today we're going to start digging into this one again. And speaking of this one, if you watched the short or any of the prior videos, you know I had this front clip painted. Part of this work that I need to do possibly today if I have time. It went off for body and paint, and unfortunately it was kind of I get the sense, or clearly from the results, it was pretty much a rush job. It has a lot of paint defects, and I don't know if you can see these, but yeah, there's three. There's a whole bunch of these little specks that are essentially fish eyes, and it's got just a whole bunch of issues, and I hate it. I reached out to the guy and said, hey, this isn't great. I sent a video clip with a couple texts, and of course never heard back. So at some point I'm just gonna drive out there. He's like 45 minutes from me though. I also wanted to have the roof painted, and he never did that. And then I gotta finish doing the trim. He didn't do that. The front bumper, especially like the fender liners, are all janky. He didn't put those back in correctly, so it's got a number of issues. And the hood, like this side was sitting a little proud, and it still is. That should be down a bit more. Like this sits too high here. I don't know exactly how to fix that. That's why I took it to him to have that fixed, and I feel like it just got pushed on a little bit and then painted and thrown back together. The real issue is over here, if I can get to it. Oh, and I need the lower trim pieces for that as well. But if you can see that lower bumper, yeah, he just sort of glued it, like not even well. It's really bad, and I'm hoping I can actually get it apart to try to fix it and do it properly. It looks horrific. Before it was kind of broken and hanging low a little bit, and I would have rather just plastic welded it myself, but I figured, hey, you should be able to do this. If I can get down here.
So there you can kind of see what a disaster that is. And also on those bumpers, I had requested that they be sanded underneath because it's got a bunch of pavement grind marks from the crash when the lower part of the valance broke free and went skidding down the pavement underneath the car, mind you. So I had to build one functional bumper out of two. And that didn't go well either. He didn't do any of that. So this is really one of my pet peeves in life right now is I'm running into just everybody wants the money, but they don't want to do the job. They don't want to do the work, or they don't want to do it right. They just want to half-ass it and run. And this feels super half-assed to me. Like, I honestly feel I could have, obviously spent some time and money, build my own little paint booth in my garage, and I could do a job like this or better. I honestly think I can do better than this in terms of the flaws and waiting for paint conditions and whatnot, and taking the time to sand everything. And it just drives me nuts because, like, I've got things to do. I don't have time to do everything, but I feel like more and more I'm kind of having to do everything. I mean, there's a few people left in the world that have some pride in workmanship, but it's dwindling quickly. So if you're somebody that's in a trade school right now, I applaud you, but I would also encourage you to not cut corners and to kick ass and get it done, and to do a good job and be ethical about it. There's so much just fraud, outright fraud. Like, I've encountered this rampantly within the HVAC trades here in the Minneapolis area. Plumbers, HVAC. Anytime that you encounter somebody, and I shouldn't even point out to the trades, like, it can be like, I work in the tech arena, and I've encountered tech people that will charge exorbitant sums simply because someone's naive. Like, if you don't know what you're getting into, it's sort of like the tech support scams, but you're actually like working with somebody face to face, and if they get the sense you don't know what you're talking about, they'll charge you $300 an hour without blinking an eye. So yeah, just side rant. If you're gonna do work, do it well, or it's not even worth doing, and stand behind it. That's all I can say. Like, this kind of crap really shouldn't happen. So, rant over, time to get to work. Okay, so as you can see, there's the ugliness of my lower bumper. No grills. So we're gonna pull that off first. And here we've got Ben doing some disassembly so we can pull the condenser out. And you can also see the kind of quality or lack thereof of the bumper. Obviously none of those were buffed out, so I've got some work to do. So as you can see, we've got the condenser out of the S8, and I need to finish doing some polishing on this side of the car as well, because again, when it was at the body shop, it got a really quick high-speed grinding. It put swirl marks on the whole car, so I'm having to de-swirl it all and to get that done. But yeah, we got to get that front bumper done. I've got a new condenser coming hopefully today. Can get this front bumper kind of back in place. I still need to find these aluminum trim pieces for the front, because these are totally blasted from road rocks and things from the prior parts car, because these are off of the parts car. That lower section of bumper is from my S8 that actually went under the car in the crash, and the midsection is from the parts car. So it's kind of a make one workable bumper out of two scenario. But that's kind of the final bit here to get done, so I'm hoping to have that done today or tomorrow. All right, we are back in the garage, and as you can see, this S8 now has a new AC condenser, and this is the Nissens brand, which is kind of what I've traditionally used for a bunch of things over the years, and had pretty good luck with them. at least radiator wise. So hopefully they can do condensers as well. But I will say this one had some definite challenges. The original unit here was, I believe, it's got a VW Audi sticker on it, so this may be original to the car, which would explain why it's so blasted, because my parts car had 260,000 miles, I believe. So the radiator has been replaced at some point, and then this just put the new one in. But when it arrived, this thing was all warpy. So it kind of had a twist in it, and you could see it clear as day. So we had to kind of tweak it just a little bit to get it in there. And then the other problem is just the fitment is trash. Like for Nissens, usually they're pretty good. I've had pretty good luck with them, but this was pretty weak. And I'm guessing it may be part of Chinesium to blame, because so help me, this bracket here feels like it's on backwards. I feel like this bracket needs to be flipped around and put on this side, and vice versa. They don't fit into the lower rubber mounts here. And I actually had to tweak these by hand a few times just to get them to fit at all, because they were sitting outside of here otherwise. But once we got that in, then the next problem became fitting the hard lines over here. And there's a little metal piece that is basically screwed between the two of these that hold them together. So you have to remove that and then manually adjust these carefully in order to get them in here, because otherwise the sensor flat out doesn't fit. So got that done and got it in. And like the top brackets, fit in the correct spot, but then you can see how poorly the bottom ones fit in here. Like they barely are making contact into that grommet where it should be resting. So compared to factory, these suck. And actually compared to most Nissens products I've used in the past, this sucks. And I don't know for sure, but let me look here. And yes, sure enough, right there, made in the land where quality doesn't matter. Yeah, so Nissens, pretty sad. You've actually sold out as well. So yet another automotive product made in the land of waste. So just be prepared. If you need one of these, you're going to probably have to do quite a bit of work just to get it to finesse it, to fit it. And normally this is super easy. You take the bumper off and you could literally swap this condenser on this car, because the AC cooler line, the transmission cooler lines just sort of swing out enough that you can just get it out of there. So you have your sensor and the two lines down here, and the rest of that comes out very quick, very easy. So given a proper fitting part, it would be like a 20-minute job. I mean, not even exaggerating here. But yeah, just be prepared. You may have to finesse. And also, during this, or prior to this, I discovered another problem with this car that'll be coming up. And that is my transmission cooler line here is leaking. You can see it's wet. That's just from backing it out. But it's basically this section here. And it's kind of hard to see, but it's a little bit dented. And I think that actually got squished in the crash. So, unfortunately, that line goes all the way back down into the frame rail somewhere. So if you've dealt with this, if you're watching this and you've dealt with this line before, and you know where exactly that goes and what kind of a pain it's going to be to get it out of here, my thought is if I can get it out, I can perhaps just take it to Pertec and have them rebuild that for me. But it's a matter of how big of a faff is it going to be to get that out of here, and the other end, and how much fluid am I going to lose. So yeah, might as well just add to the list. But that will be probably coming in the future video. So we'll be doing, may or may not do master cylinder on video. We'll see how that goes time wise. But like I said, I got to replace all of the rubber lines are original to the car, so it is absolutely time to do those. I'm just going to replace them all with OEM equivalent replacements, and then do a full bleed on this car just to make sure everything's good. So if I can fix that, fix the brakes, recharge the AC, I think it's pretty much good to go at that point. And then I really need to turn my attention to the red car here. So that will be coming soon as well. In fact, probably before this video, we're going to do a walk around and kind of a buyer's guide of sorts for modified S4s. So stay tuned for that. Also, I'm working on the front bumper. This is the original lower part to this car that was in the crash, and it literally went under the car and wedged itself between the front wheels, and amazingly didn't shatter any more than it put a crack here and lost a little chunk. And I was able to plastic weld this together, so I just needed some filler in here, and then I had a piece of plastic with this piece ready to be cut out and then plastic welded in that I had included with this when I took it to the body shop, and I believe that piece was kept there or lost or thrown away. So now I'm a little bit SOL here because I don't think I have any more pieces. But I need to sand all of this down really well and clean it up really good and paint it, and then the front bumper will look a little bit better than this, because this is just not acceptable. So anyhow, I think we're gonna call it a day with that, and you know, well, we got more projects too. I mean, that needs full suspension. There's a few little things on the A6, but yeah, and again, back to the red car. So hopefully our temperatures stabilize. It's been a really hot and steamy summer here, and even right now the humidity is climbing. You can see I'm getting kind of warm here. Was beautiful yesterday, but now it is getting sticky, and I think we've got some record heat back in my direction and probably some storms. So we will probably be away for a little while until that clears, and then we'll rejoin you once we get a little bit more favorable weather. But as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. I am, as you can tell, by no means a professional YouTube person. I'll do my best to at least give you something watchable, and we can talk about all sorts of things. And I realize I haven't really officially done an intro for this YouTube channel, and so you don't really know who I am or my background. I should probably do that at some point, as it's somewhat interesting. But anyhow, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.